we're standing up here on the bow, and we can't stop looking at the water. It's amazing. It's so clear, and we're probably in 20 feet of water. We can't even look at the camera right now because this is too incredible. Phil just saw a lobster walking by. The water here is amazing. It's early morning, 7:30. We're on our way to the Exumas today. It's gonna be an all-day motor. I'm really excited. We have our coffee out here right now.
I feel freaked out by looking at the water. I feel like I'm in shallow water, but I know I'm not. But the refraction makes it look a little shallow, and I keep thinking I'm gonna run aground.
We're still 35 miles away from officially entering the Exuma island chain, but the water has already become stunningly clear. It's remarkable to be surrounded by such a vast amount of perfectly clear water in every direction as far as the eye can see. This is the passage we imagined for many long months, and it's hard to believe that now it's actually here. Yesterday, as we showed you in our last episode, we left from Eleuthera to position ourselves for today's 6-hour passage to the Exumas. On this passage, we'll be encountering some submerged rocks, so we needed to wait for today's light wind and bright, sunny skies. We've certainly chosen the perfect day for it. Looking down, we can see straight to the bottom in almost 20 feet of water. And with the surface so still, we can see far out in every direction.
So that's what we're going to be navigating through, all those rocks. We're going to have to visually navigate through this section. There's a pass there, there's a purple line that shows the route on both the Explorer chart data and Navionics. But we're going to have to be careful to make sure we don't get anything too high.
So for the next 2 hours or so, I'm going to be basically out here on the bow on a rock lookout. Oh, I see one in the distance. See that? I mean, the water's so clear. See.
You like my ghetto Cuban yo-yo I made? This is off the reel of our fishing line that we bought.
It works.
Aww. Sorry, buddy. What do you think? There you go, buddy.
The whole thing about these rocks is that our keel is 4 foot 2 inches. Is what we draw, it's called. So if there's a rock that's sitting 6 feet below the water and we're in 10 feet of water, that could be a problem. These little things, the red with the black X, so they're all over here. Those are all rocks on the chart, so I am visually avoiding those, also using the chart, but mainly visually avoiding them. Really just making tiny little movements, port starboard, staying on that line and just looking around. And it's such a beautiful day. It must be like 70 degrees because the sun is warm, but it's a little breezy. It's like heaven. I'm so enjoying this watch. We just saw dolphins. Of course, didn't get them on film, but I can finally see the Exumas in the distance, the land. And it's thrilling getting close to a place we've wanted to go for so long. Or it feels like so long. And I can see like the promised land on the horizon right now. And I'm just so excited, really.
Well, we're officially in the Exumas. We made it safely through that rock pass. It wasn't as bad as the chart suggested. It looked really, really busy. We only had to change course a couple times over the, I think it was 10 miles. Yeah, so now we're just motoring down. We're gonna go anchor off Allan Allan Cay, which is where there's some iguanas apparently, which Grace will be excited about. And yeah, we're almost there. So I think we picked a good day. It's very, very good visibility, light wind. Just been motoring about 6.5 knots, and it's been pretty civilized trip so far. I caught one little fish, nothing really that fun, but tried.
Next time. So this is the anchorage. The Iguana Beach apparently is over here. And I see some masts over here, so I think there's gonna be a little more space on this side, but we'll see. The water looks really clear.
Where should we drop up here?
Hi, doggies. Yeah, it looks like it's maybe 10 feet.
I will drop a little further forward though.
I'm silently freaking out this entire time, but just was trying to contain myself for the purpose of filming. But this is one of the prettiest anchorages I think I've ever been in. So we are going to a beach that has iguanas on it, and apparently these iguanas are either blind or don't see well, and they'll kind of let you get really close to them. So that's where we're going now.
Yeah, this water is unbelievable.
Hi. Oh shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! They're kind of scary.
They're big, huh?
This is a very strange experience. All these iguanas are looking at me and they're kind of watching my every move. It's just really odd. And the bigger ones are bolder, but the little ones are like more risk takers, but then they're more scared.
See, I can get pretty close to this guy.
Chilling.
Are you having as much fun with this as I
I
am?
don't think so. You love iguanas.
Clearly, Bill's already moved on to the next adventure, which for us will be a hop to a nearby island, Staniel Cay. We're going to keep moving since we've only just scratched the surface of the Exuma chain by reaching its northern island group, and as beautiful as this spot is, there are many more for us to explore. But before we get too ahead of ourselves here, can we stop and talk about this situation? You might have noticed our new addition making an appearance in the last couple of episodes, but if you didn't, then we'd like to introduce you to our brand new windlass. When in Nova Scotia this summer, we got a deal too good to pass up and finally made the big purchase. And then we worked to install it this fall in Annapolis. Remember our 4-month-long stay there? Well, this project is part of that story.
So as you can see, the windlass arrived today. Well, actually the windlass didn't arrive today, but we are just done with the boat show festivities and it's time to get our butts in gear because we have a lot of work to do. And we want to make the Bahamas this year. So I opened up the windlass. Of course, there's no paper manuals anymore. They come on CD-ROM drives and we don't even have a CD-ROM drive on our computer. So I'm gonna try to make my own template and visualize where it will go in the anchor locker. So these are my prototypes I was building the other day. This one represents the giant motor piece. Both of the windlass is a big electric motor that's heavy, and that gets bolted to the underside of this, which represents the actual winch, like what actually pulls the chain in. So here, this is just the height of the capstan, which is what pulls in rope if you want to use rope. And this is where my chain feeds in, and this is where the chain is going to drop into the locker. So what I'm trying to do now is...
Where's where the chain's going to drop into
this
the
hole
locker?
right here. I put chain hole.
Okay, see?
Chain hole. Right there.
Oh, there's a hole in there. Okay.
Yeah, so
I couldn't
we're
see
gonna,
that.
when we make this platform that we're looking at, there's gonna be a hole cut here.
Okay.
And the chain is, so the windlass is gonna go in here all the way around the winch and then drop down. So you kind of want to go towards the center and deepest part of the locker, because otherwise it needs some sort of clearance underneath the machine for the chain. But you also want to make sure that you're pulling at the correct angle. So the way the chain's coming off the roller, it wants a little bit to be to port. You can see this roller is slightly offset like that. So for us, in order for the windlass to work properly, we have to have it on this side of the locker. Picture this gigantic motor underneath.
And that's going, can you show exactly where it's going underneath?
That'll be bolted underneath the shelf we're building. So it's going to be off to the right, the starboard right side like this.
And that's the motor?
That's the actual motor that will spin the winch.
Okay.
I notice there's no door, there's no locker here right now. It's over there, I took it off. We're going to have to chop a hole in that in order to make it close over this.
Yeah, because it sticks up. Got it.
Our G10 arrived for our anchor windlass template, but we're adding another kind of complication to the whole thing. When we were talking to our rigger regarding installing a code 0, which would have the bowsprit going out off that port side anchor roller, we also were talking about adding staysail, which would really help us for heavier air going upwind. So now I'm trying to figure out an additional piece of geometry where I now have to get a strong point attached on the deck somewhere, or considering using this G10 thing I'm building in. All right. I have to do an angled cut here. And I'm gonna do a curve here. So this is roughly what our template should look like. So the windlass will be living here. That's where the chain's gonna come in. This is gonna be a shelf for the inner forestay, right? So we're gonna have double pad eyes on the center line somewhere of the boat. And then all this area is underneath the deck supporting it. With the template for the windlass finalized, it's time to get this windlass installed. Since we've been juggling multiple projects here in Annapolis, our installation and planning has taken weeks, but it's finally all coming together. First, we have to cut the G10 to match the template. Since G10 is extremely tough material, we use a sawzall to cut it. With the template temporarily clamped into position, we use a hole saw to make the necessary holes for where the chain drops into the locker, as well as where the shaft of the windlass passes into the motor. With the template finalized, we fiberglass and screwed the shelf into the boat. It's now time to tackle the electrical part of the install. So today I am trying to finalize some of the wiring for the windlass. I was looking at some of the wiring diagrams and getting pretty confused, so I made my own diagram. So this is the connections that need to occur near the battery, and these are the connections that need to occur up in the forward cabin. So back here we're going to have the batteries and the circuit breaker, which is this device. So I need to crimp on some big crimping wires here. Then there's a control box which has 3 big connections, and then there's going to be the actual windlass. With the solid wiring diagram in place, it's time to start running the wires and crimping connections. The fact that we have the cabinetry on the starboard side of the boat removed makes running the thick windlass cables forward a breeze. There's nice wood blocks back here to tuck the wiring runs into, so I'm just hiding those for now, so I can't see them when all the cabinetry is back in. At last, it's time to make the final connection, the windlass remote. That one goes in there, I think. Aha!
How happy are you?
Pretty good.
Let's see you holding that cable, that remote,
really
I mean.
Nervous about starting it the first time, because there's just so many multiple connections, and I was just not sure if I did it all right, because I did it over a span of probably 10 days.
Kind of anticlimactic.
I know, it just kind of worked.
We just thought we were going to burn the boat down.
I put all the fuses in. I assumed the fuses protection. I know. Well, I wasn't.
And it's back to the present. We're anchored now in Staniel Cay, where we arrived after a short but windy sail yesterday. After setting the hook, we went ashore to explore and grab a couple of drinks. And with that out of the way, today we're planning to check out an underwater cave nearby.
Today, we are aiming to do the Thunderbolt Grotto, which is an underwater cave, and it was in a James Bond movie. Apparently the fish are pretty tame because it's a tourist attraction, so you're supposed to see a ton of fish, and a lot of fish will like come right up to you, which is fine by me. I'm actually pretty excited for that. So yeah, that's what we're doing today in Staniel Cay. Although, as per usual, there are boat tours, and Bill is filling our burners, and he has a little angst over the generator right now. So just gonna try to put that heaviness aside and enjoy our swim. and then we'll get back to boat reality. But I'm loving the Exumas so far. And the bar was really cool last night, and Staniel Cay and nurse sharks that came up to us when we came in. The water's so clear. I'm just really excited to see more of this place because I like what I see so far, and I understand why it's a tourist attraction, this whole area, because it's beautiful. I am making breakfast right now, just sauteing some little peppers, and I'm gonna make a little omelet of what we have, which is not that much fresh stuff at this point. We have some tomatoes. Going to use our trusty dried spinach.
Sometimes tourist attractions don't live up to the hype. But after just a few minutes, we were pleasantly surprised to find that this cave is a true gem, and that this time our cruising guidebook is 100% spot on. Join us next time as we continue to island hop the Exuma chain and finally get the chance to fly our new Code Zero. With furling technology rooted in the Vendée Globe, we'll show you how it works and why this versatile light air sail was well worth the investment to us.